Hello everyone and welcome back to Jacqs. Thanks for joining me today for World Card Making Day or International Card Making Day. In either case, happy card making day. I'm excited to be here. It's probably the first card I have made in quite some time, and it's a perfect time to kick off card making. So I have a great card to share with you today. So let's get started. So here's the card that I created. It is a 5x7 card, and it is for Halloween, of course. Since we hit October, that's on my mind. It has two layers on it. The bottom layer is a purple mirror card, and then the top layer here and most of the decorations paper-wise on top are from Country Craft Creations, and it is the Midnight Ride collection. I love this little witch. I had to use her in a card, and so I've added her here. And what I've done is created a cauldron, and I've made the cauldron by using a magic Irish die, and I just love how this turned out. This was my first time using the die, so next time I know that I can use colored paper on the inside. But for this time, it's like you get a little peek into the cauldron and you get to see the stirrings going on in there with the little gold stars and circles. So it's just kind of fun to have a little peek. And on the cauldron, I added some little sequins here to dress it up. We have some fun fibers here on the top, and behind the fibers are gemstones and rhinestones there, like little bubbles coming up from the cauldron. And even on her wand, we have a little pearl there. I just love how that looks. I've added some potion bottles down here on the bottom that I fussy cut from the paper. And for the spiders, now I don't like scary spiders, so what I did was added some pink glitter dots there, and then used a metallic pink pen to kind of go over their legs to just make them a little bit prettier. So with all the cooking that we have going on, her one message is to believe in magic. I love it. Just love how this turned out. So much fun. So on the inside, we have a great spot for a sentiment here with these cute little pumpkins, and that finishes the card. Now I have a tutorial following this portion of the video, so if you hang around, I'll show you how I created this as well as all of the supplies that I've used. Before we get into the tutorial, I just wanted to mention that I know not everyone will have the Magic Irish die, but I have found an SVG file on Lori Whitlock's website, and so I will have that link down below for you. And right now she is having a special where they are 50% off. I think it's just for this weekend. So you would be able to create this just by getting her SVG file and then creating yourself a little cauldron topper, which is what I did with my Cricut design space. So really what I did there is I just got a picture of a cauldron, I got a top that I liked, and I cut the rest off. And then I just used the Cricut to cut out the top part. Very easy. You could seriously make that by hand. It's really just one angle cut, straight across, another angle cut, and straight across. Very easy to do. This one just has two little handles there on the side. But I did want you to know, so don't feel left out. If you don't have the die, you could get the SVG file. So, and even if you don't have a cutting machine at all, you could still make this card by just creating a cauldron and putting it on the front. It doesn't have to have this feature in it. It will still look beautiful. Okay, now let's get started with the tutorial. For this project, I'm going to be using Midnight Ride by Country Craft Creations, and this is exclusively on their website, and I'll have that link down below for you. For this project, I'm using the Lawn Fawn Magic Iris dies, and I recently got this from the Crafty Retreat when they were having that great 75% off sale. So what you're going to need to do when using this die, as you probably all know, but I'm just going to go over it for those that don't. You'll have one circle piece. Now, If you're wondering, this is a 3 3/4 inch circle, and the circle in the center is 1 7/8 inches across. So you need 3 of these. I've cut one out in my decorative paper, one that's black, and then another decorative paper. We have this piece, and we're going to need 3 of that. So I have a third one around here. Here we go. We're going to need one of these cut out with the arrow and the little tab. One of these, and it's like a little pull tab. And then we need 3 of this piece. So what I did on all my dies, whenever I needed more than one, I wrote on the back of them so that I would know right away how many to cut. So I have those pieces. And then we have this funky piece. And what you do with this is you take one of your circles and you line it up face down and put it in you center it in the circle, run it through your die cut, and when you do, it comes out looking like this. And it has your holes. And that's going to help us connect all the pieces. So let me show you how to do that now. For this project, you'll also need some 5mm adhesive dots. Okay, I'm going to come in here for a moment and talk about the back side before I continue creating this. For those that aren't familiar with this die, when we die cut the bottom piece to create these 3 little holes, it also made these little alcoves into the paper, these little stitched lines. So here's the die. So when we move it, you see here, there are little stitched areas here. And there'll be another one over here, right there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on this paper. And then another one over here. So what we're going to do for those 3 areas is we're going to take our 3 little tabs that look like this, and we're going to glue these where the little alcove is. We're going to take our piece and glue that outward. So you'll match the little tab piece to the round center and then glue it outward. Okay, right where those 3 little alcoves are. Those are the only places you're going to put glue right now. So I don't have a roller adhesive, so I'm just going to use tape adhesive for this and just line it up where the little stitched mark is and put it there in the center. Now that we have our little strips on, we're going to take this and flip it over. And the way I'm going to do it is to put the 2 strips this way as if we are doing a Y, and the single down here at the bottom. Okay. We're going to take our little tab piece and we're going to add it right very closely to this strip at the bottom. When we do it, we want to make a V shape. So we're lining the center part of this tab piece up with the inner circle, and then we're going to bring this close enough to this tab where it creates like a V shape here. Can you see that? Like a V. If you put it over that way, it's too far. You want it to be very close to that tab, like that. And then just make sure it's aligned with the inner circle as well. So it looks like this and that. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm just going to use wet adhesive to do that. Not going to go all the way down on the tab. Now we're going to add our 3rd circle, And we're just going to lay this over the top. And then we're going to add adhesive to these strips right here, these 3 strips. And we're going to fold these over very lightly. Now they will not touch the inner circle. They'll probably go right up to where the stitch is on the die, because you don't want to do it very tightly. You need to have some room. So just fold those all over. Now we're going to test our mechanism with using our tab to make sure it works, and it does. It's kind of hard to hold on to the very bottom layer while you're trying that. But yeah, it works great. Awesome. Now I'm going to wait till I get this in place to add the final decor piece on the top. But now we're going to adhere this to a card base. For my card base, I cut down a piece of cardstock that is 10 by 7 and I scored in half at 5. For my first layer, I'm using this Enchanted Forest luxury mirror card, and I cut a piece of the purple to 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. From this page, I cut down a piece that is 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. Now I'm going to go ahead and layer all these pieces on top of each other, and you'll have an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Okay, I have everything glued down. Now what I'm going to do is open up my iris shutter here, and I need to find the placement for it. And then I'm going to take a pencil and draw a circle. Okay, so now that I have my circle drawn, what I have already done is cut out this piece from the ephemera cutouts, and I'm going to add that to the back. And I'm going to put it right where I put the circle. So now that that's in place, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to glue on my top layer here, because I need to add some other pieces, and this will help me to get everything aligned. Okay, I've got that done. I've got this closed. Now what I need to do is to figure out the placement of this. I'm going to add this piece at the top, and it will help make it look like a cauldron. Since I don't have a shape that goes over this that looks like a cauldron, I thought that would be the way to do it. And then I'm going to cut this piece and make little legs. And we'll see how that looks. Make sure that this is on the card and not hanging over, because then you'll just have to make your envelope that much bigger. So that's the way I want it to open, like this. Okay, now that we have these pieces in place, the other thing that I wanted to do was to add a witch, and I cut her out of this paper. And I'm going to place her behind the cauldron as if she's like casting a spell to make it bubble or boil or whatever. And then I'm actually going to add little sparkly things and stuff as if it's coming out of the cauldron. So we need to figure out the placement for her, and then we can glue down the cauldron itself. Or at least that's what it is now. Sort of. I was trying to hide the spider in the back. I think that will work right there. I did have her there, but then she looks too small in comparison to the cauldron. So you have to actually bring her up so that you get some of the equalness of the height and the width here. Okay, I'm going to glue her down. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add this little piece here with the arrow in it. I'm going to add that right there. Make sure it's going in the direction that you need it to go in. And then for the arrow, I actually have one that's in white, and I'm going to add that. Now we're ready to put down our cauldron, and we need to turn this over. Where we have the little strips on the back side, we're going to add adhesive. Again, I'm just using tape, but if you have a roller tape, that would work too. Now before we set this down, I want to mention one thing. Let's open this. If you have your little points here still peeking out, all you do is turn this over and just fold them under. Make sure they're in that position. And then let's close this up and put this down. Now that it's in place, I'm going to go ahead and burnish these areas. This is cracking me up. All right, I love it. To unscary the two spiders, I added some Crafter Square little pop dots. I used the pink ones. And then I took this metallic marker from the Dollar Tree as well, and I just lightly brushed over where the legs were to calm down the blackness of the spider. So I did that here and there. I really like how that turned out. I don't care for the spiders, so it makes it better. And then I'm going to try to add these Bow Bunny double dot jewels. This is the citrus. And then I have these Dury self-stick gems down in here, and we'll see how that looks. So I've cut this out of the paper. I'm going to add down here, it's little potion bottles. Thought that would be cute to add. Then I had some of these fun fibers. I'm going to add this down underneath. I'm not quite sure how that will work. Maybe I'll just lay it in there. So the next thing I want to do is add just a little something here in the center to kind of make it all blend together. And I thought using this stamp set from Studio Calico by Rachel Swanson would work. There's these cute little like asterisks here that I could use, or I was really liking these like diamond shape stamps. There's some little swirlies. Even these little dots would work. So I may try stamping some out first to see what I like, and then stamping in there. And I think I might use like a gold color. I think that would be kind of cool as well, and it goes along with the gems up above. This is really coming together so nicely. So I ended up going with Dewdrops Brilliance Pearlescent Olive. It shows up really well, and it's like a gold color. I think that's okay. Just a little something to add there to go with the mood. Yeah. Because I can't put anything dimensional because then you can't open the window, so. On the inside here, I just added a die cut that I had, as well as I fussy cut this out of the paper. And I think that looks really cute there, a nice place to add a sentiment. And that concludes our card. I have really had a lot of fun in creating this, and I'm glad I got those dies. This was so fun. I hope you have enjoyed coming along with me in this creation, and happy World Card Making Day. And don't forget to believe in magic. And have a great day, everyone. I'll see you next time.